Trump's taxpayer heist. How the East Wing became a $300 million donor den of corruption. Oh, let's cut the sanctimonious crap and stare this monstrosity square in the face. Because if Donald Trump's latest White House vanity project doesn't scream Banana Republic louder than a Mar-a-Lago conga line, then nothing does. And as someone who's spent years knee-deep in the muck of elite grift, from Wall Street bailouts to Silicon Valley subsidies, I can tell you this East Wing demolition isn't just tacky. It's a masterclass in how a second-term autocrat turns the people's house into his personal ATM, all while the MAGA faithful cheer it as genius, and the rest of us choke on the dust of democracy's demolition. Picture it. October 20, 2025, just as the federal government's grinding through its latest shutdown farce over border walls and billionaire tax dodges, and enrolls the heavy machinery to chew up the historic East Wing, the very annex where Jackie Kennedy stashed state dinners and FDR plotted D-Day, replacing it with a gaudy 90,000-square-foot ballroom that could host 999 sycophants for Trump's ego-stroking galas. No public bids, no congressional nod, no permits that anyone can find, just a presidential fiat exploiting some dusty exemption from the 1960s that lets the chief executive fast-track renovations like he's flipping a condo in Queens. And the funding. Not your tax dollars, they swear. Oh no. It's all private generosity from a Rolodex of corporate titans who've collectively shoveled $1.6 billion into political coffers and lobbying dens over the years, controlling nearly $300 billion in federal contracts that mysteriously keep flowing their way. Coincidence? Please. This is pay-to-play on steroids, a donor rewards lounge where investigations vanish, regulations loosen, and history gets bulldozed, all for the low, low price of a crystal chandelier and a plaque on the wall. Trump's not draining the swamp. He's building a moat around it, and if that doesn't ignite a firestorm of outrage from sea to shining sea, then we've learned nothing from Watergate or the Gilded Age's robber barons. Let's autopsy this scandal step by excruciating step, because the devil's not just in the details. It's the whole damn blueprint, sketched in Sharpie on a napkin while ethics advisors twiddle thumbs in the corner. It kicks off July 31, 2025, when Trump, fresh off his inauguration glow-up, drops the bomb in a rose garden photo op flanked by hard hats and renderings that look like a Vegas casino mated with Monticello. A sprawling new East Wing, headlined by a state-of-the-art ballroom attached to the executive residence via a glass bridge for that seamless flow from Oval Office schmoozes to black-tie backroom deals. Capacity, up to 999. Symbolic, he quips. One short of 1,000 so the haters can't say it's excessive. Cost. Ballooned from an initial $200 million whisper to $300 million by October, per leaks to the Washington Post, with marble floors imported from Italy, gold leaf ceilings that scream Nouveau Versailles, and AV systems that could broadcast a filibuster to Mars. The pitch. Enhancing the White House for future presidents. As House Majority Leader, Steve Scalise parroted last week, framing it as a bipartisan boon, while conveniently ignoring the bipartisan backlash from historians who wail about gutting a structure that's housed everything from the First Lady's offices to wartime command posts since Teddy Roosevelt's era. But here's the rub that turns this from hubris to high crime. The demolition didn't wait for debate. On October 20, amid the shutdown's chaos, national parks shuttered, IRS refunds iced, 800,000 feds furloughed, bulldozers roared to life under cover of a White House memo citing a 1962 exemption buried in the Federal Property Act, letting presidents bypass GSA oversight for essential upgrades. No environmental impact study, no historic preservation review from the Advisory Council on Historic Preservation, no blueprint filed with D.C.'s zoning board, just a secretive crew of contractors, rumored to include Trump's old Atlantic City pals, ripping out walls while Secret Service snipers watched from the roof. Senators like Elizabeth Warren and Bernie Sanders erupted on the floor October 22, with Warren thundering. "We can't find a single permit, a legal point of contact, or even a napkin sketch. This is Trump treating the White House like his personal sandbox." Public polls. A CNN Snap survey October 25 showed 68% opposition, with urban voters at 82% calling it tone-deaf amid Snap delays and VA backlogs. Conservationists. The National Trust for Historic Preservation filed an emergency injunction October 23, only to get slapped down by a Trump-appointed judge who cited national security for the rushed timeline, because nothing says secure like a half-gutted annex during a budget standoff. Now, the donors. The real meat in this rotten sandwich, courtesy of a public citizen watchdog report dropped Monday that reads like a subpoena waiting to happen. Trump's team finally coughed up a list October 23 after days of stonewalling, but it's a joke. 37 names, heavy on the usual suspects. Tech behemoths like Amazon, Alphabet, Google's overlord, Apple, Meta, Microsoft, defense dinosaurs Lockheed Martin and Raytheon. Finance fat cats BlackRock and Citadel, even crypto cowboys like Coinbase and T-Mobile's parent Deutsche Telekom. Individuals. Howard Lutnick of Cantor Fitzgerald, a $10 million pledge. NVIDIA's Jensen Huang, $5 million. And billionaire trader Jeff Yass, whose Susquehanna International Group funneled $15 million through dark money PACs. Total pledged so far. Over $150 million, with whispers of $25 million checks from unnamed patriots at an October 15 East Room dinner where Trump reportedly joked, "For $25 mil, I'll name a wing after you, hell, the whole damn house." But Public Citizen's dive exposes the quid pro quo stench. These 24 disclosed entities, plus 3 CBS News outed holdouts, hold $295 billion in active federal contracts, per U.S. ASPending.gov data. Lockheed alone snagged $33. $4 billion in 2025 for F-35 jets and missile toys, right after pledging $20 million. Amazon. $14 billion in cloud deals with the Pentagon, post a $10 million donation that coincided with a mysteriously dropped FTC antitrust probe into its marketplace monopoly. Google settled a $24. $5 million YouTube bans spat with the administration by rerouting $22 million straight to the Ballroom Fund. Poetic justice for the platform that demonetized Trump's post-January 6 rants. And the conflicts. They're not subtle, they're sledgehammers. At least 14 donors face active federal enforcement. Lockheed's tangled in NLRB labor suits over union busting at its Georgia plants. Google's sweating SEC probes into ad tech collusion. Amazon's dodging OSHA fines for warehouse injuries that hit 7 per 100 workers. NVIDIA's under DOJ antitrust scrutiny for AI chip dominance, yet its export quid pro quo with China revenue, 15% funneled back to Trump world, earned a quiet waiver on tariffs. Meta. Facebook's parent just saw its Cambridge Analytica hangover evaporate with a dismissed FTC privacy suit after Mark Zuckerberg's $8 million gesture. Raytheon. $12 billion in missile contracts awarded weeks after a $15 million pledge, even as its hypersonic program audits flagged $2 billion in overruns. Public Citizen's Lisa Gilbert nailed it in an October 28 op-ed. This is corruption with chandeliers. Money buys access, influence, and a permanent plaque on the people's house while the rest of us foot the long-term bill for security upgrades and maintenance. Taxpayers. Screwed sideways. Experts at roll call estimate $50 $100 million in future GSA costs for wiring, HVAC, and bomb-proofing that private marble monstrosity, turning Trump's no cost to you vow into the mother of all IOUs. The White House spin machine. in overdrive with Press Secretary Caroline Leavitt October 24 insisting, "These are great American companies giving back out of pure patriotism. No strings, no favors, just love for the presidency." Chief of Staff Susie Wiles echoed in a memo to Senate Dems. Full transparency forthcoming. Anonymity options protect donor privacy from leftist harassment. Privacy. That's code for opacity, as the New York Times exposed November 3. At least 5 major pledges. BlackRock's $12 million, NVIDIA's full $5 million, Yass's bundle, were funneled through anonymous LLCs on pledge forms that let contributors opt out of disclosure, turning the donor list into a game of ethical hide-and-seek. Senators Adam Schiff, Elizabeth Warren, and Cory Booker fired off a letter October 29 demanding a complete accounting, warning of blatant corruption, as these firms position themselves in the government's good graces. Schiff's probe, launched via the Senate Intelligence Committee, subpoenas White House logs for donor dinners. That October 15 soiree drew 200 fat cats, including Lutnick and Huang, who left with recognition perks like engraved bricks and VIP tour slots, per CBS pledge docs. This isn't isolated idiocy. It's Trumpism distilled, government as graft, the presidency as paywall. Remember his first term. Emoluments, lawsuits over Saudi stays at Trump hotels. Jared Kushner's $2 billion Qatari windfall post-White House. Ivanka's China trademarks mid-tariff wars. Now, amplified. The ballroom's not just a venue. It's a symbol of privatized power, where access auctions for millions while Snap families skip meals in the shutdown Trump greenlit. Historians howl. The East Wing, added in 1942 for wartime efficiency, housed the vice president's office till 1949, First Lady's initiatives forever, tearing it for a schmooze space. As the National Trust's Bridget Mayfield tweeted October 21, "This is Marie Antoinette redecorating the guillotine shed." Polls bear it out. A November 1 APNORC survey shows 72% view the project as self-serving, with 61% demanding congressional veto power over White House mods. Even Fox News' Juan Williams October 26 called it a donor Taj Mahal on Pennsylvania Avenue. The meteor ripples, awkward as hell. Comcast, NBC Universal, pledged $18 million, prompting on-air disclaimers from MSNBC's Gabe Gutierrez October 22. Among donors is our parent company. Amazon's Jeff Bezos, Washington Post owner, chipped $15 million, fueling internal Post debates on conflict walls. BBC's U.S. partner October 23 grilled ethics. Richard Painter, Bush's former counsel, dubbed it an ethics nightmare, access for cash in the people's house. Fortune's October 26 roster, 37 deep, from Caterpillar's $10 million to Union Pacific's $8 million, spotlights the breadth. Every donor lobbies, every contract fattens. Outrage, it's bipartisan in whispers, gop sense. Mitt Romney and Lisa Murkowski October 30 called for guardrails, fearing donor blowback in 26 midterms. Dems, weaponizing it. AOC's viral thread November 2. Trump's building a billionaire bunker while we fight for food stamps. Impeach the contractor-in-chief. Public Citizen's November 4 analysis. Massive, inescapable conflicts, irremediable without subpoenas. Trump's retort. A Bedminster rally October 27. Fake news hates winners, they want a dumpy White House. I give you grandeur paid by patriots. But the cracks show. Anonymous options scream cover-up, investigations dropped scream quid pro quo. This ballroom's no legacy. It's a liability, a $300 million monument to megalomania where democracy's drywall meets donor dollars. We need probes, not platitudes. Skiffs lead the charge, but House Dems must flip 26 to defund. Boycott donor brands. Skip Amazon Prime, ditch Google searches, stream ad-free elsewhere. Share this fury. Outrage isn't optional, it's oxygen. Trump's swamp, it's a sinkhole swallowing us all. Time to fill it with sunlight, subpoenas, and spine. The people's house isn't for sale, not to him, not to them. Demand the deeds or watch the chandeliers swing. Love always, Santiago, D.C. Maria.